So on the site here, let me share my screen to the side so you can see. So sharing, let me move this down. So this is the site you helped us develop, cyber framework.simric.com.
You missed framework.
Oh yeah, sorry. Framework.com. So does it not resolve itself, even though I didn't put that in? I thought it should have resolved it.
It does.
Framework.
Try to get to it.
All right, I don't know why it took a while. So this interactive map, you see, when you click on any one of it, it will take you to the next, what I call the pillars, yeah? So this will take you to pillar, this will, I think he's waiting. So I also noticed that the site sometimes it's like it's busy, or I don't know whether it's from the people hosting it. Sometimes
we've spoken with our hosts, Hearts Internet. So they have to restart the servers, and it will have to be done over a weekend. So we're going to arrange for it to be done this weekend.
Okay. All right. What we want to do is to codify this so people can feel it and it's automated. Whilst this is waiting, this is where we started. If you remember, this is what we started with, yeah? You can see my screen, yeah?
Yes, I can.
The Excel spreadsheet. So what we want to now is to turn this into a program, but that will store the input, the inputs from the user and make sure that it's secure. And then from there, we can generate a report. So we would have to have the questions as if it's a questionnaire. So you have number one, which is ID this, and then it describes what the name is, put this description. It would ask you this as a question. Do you have a list of your technical assets, such as this? And the user will feel yes. And the user can also provide a link to where they stored this asset. Then the next one will be, it will ask you, do you have a list of your non-technical assets? For example, people, intellectual property, processes, and technology. If you said yes, it will say, where is the list? You can upload the list, okay? Or you can say kept in a particular repository. Then you specify that's what we want to do. And then the question number, then we go into this ID rc.ip-2. It will put the description as the key stakeholders and responsibility. And then it will drop down, it will provide you these descriptions, what it means. And then the question will be, can you list 3 stakeholders, administrative stakeholders of yours? And then it will ask you, can you list your senior administrative stakeholders? And then can you list your external stakeholders? So it will give you an example, like this might be your security operations center people or your IT. If you don't have the list or you don't know it, then that will be, I think it would be like a question where, do you know the list of your stakeholders, yes or no? If you said no, it would take you to the next question. If you said yes, it will prompt you to then list the administrative ones and then list the senior ones. So these outputs, we turn them into a question, and then we capture the input from the user and store it. At the end of, and what we, again, something to note, Chris, is we have to have a mechanism where the user can pause, save their work, and continue next time, because this might take them, say, an hour to complete. Not every user is going to have an hour uninterrupted, 1 hour to fill this. Therefore, the program you're writing or the code would have to have a situation it can capture state. It's called state status, where a user can save their work and come back again. Again, a user must log in before they can complete this. So a user must register before they can complete the form. It means that if they're not registered first, they will register, then log in, then complete the form. Log in and then complete the form. So it's not something we want to put there without user registration. And that way we can capture the user registration. And that user registration will then become what you use as your state parameter to save it. And then when the user log back on again, say after a week or two, or even the next day or the next hour, then you can render back where they stopped. And then the program would then ask them, lead them on to the next question and next question. I will pause there and ask you if there's anything you want to clarify so far.
Let me just go over what you've said so far. So it's going to be a form with each of the functions. Okay, the first ID. You have a question. Do you have identified physical, technical, and non-technical assets? When they say yes, we come up an input for them to upload that list.
Yeah, we will ask them, do you want to fill it or do you want to upload it if you have it in like a file? And they might want to fill it, then we'll capture the filling. They may want to upload it as a list. We would receive the upload. We can also check the size we can upload. And this is where also, if we receive upload, we make sure that we check that they're not uploading a virus or uploading a file that is executable on our system. So input validation will be required if they're uploading a file. And we would have to have like a scanner that scans the file at the back end.
Okay. So and before they can fill in this form, they would have to be registered.
Yes. So this form, when you say we put it online at the okay, you can use it. When you click there, it will ask you to log in or register. Log in if you're already registered with us. Then you can use your username and password and log in. If you haven't logged in, it will ask you to register. And registration will take you through what you've already created. Maybe we'll keep this separate because this is on the main site. So this registration would be similar to what we have here. It will ask you, yeah, similar to what we have. It may not ask you whether you want to be an affiliate or register with us as volunteer, but you would have to register with the first name, last name, email. Any of the optional IDs are there. We want to know the country the person is, the city. In fact, use that registration form, but copy it over to this one because this is a different domain.
Yeah.
So that person, once the person finishes register, it can then bring them back into this to complete. At the end of the filling, we want to be able to generate a report. They can download a report of what they've completed. Okay. So at the end of when they finish completing and you say thank you, there will be, here is a report if you want to. The report would only highlight to say, okay, ID, this ID. We can also work on the report. I don't know the format of the report, but these are something we can work on. But I think the first one is how we present this in terms of completing, but also that the input they submit is captured in our database. And it has to have a state, what I call state. Yes, so that the person can come back, it can pause, it can save your thing and come back again, save and start another time. And then they come back, you start them where they stopped until they finish. When they finish, there will be thank you for completing this form. Your report is here. If you want to download a copy of your report, then there will be a copy of your report.
All right.
Do you have any, what is going on in your mind? What platform, or what do you want to use to do this, or what fits this best?
Okay, so I'm thinking I'll use Laravel PHP to write it, MySQL for the database. This will be totally custom. We wouldn't be able to use any WordPress. We might be able to use WordPress extensions, but I'll still need to look at it. Yeah, but off the top of my head, I am tending towards using Laravel PHP for it and MySQL for the database.
Yeah.
So it will be on a different domain. Say maybe you will pick the domain name, something.cmric.com.
Okay. So we will have like our, say, another subdomain, right? So
yes,
as
correct.
this
So,
is cyberframework.cmric.com, we might have anyway, I'll get the name. Where, yeah. The other thing I wanted to make sure is that the aesthetics is going to be different. So I want it where when they fill in the number one, the first one will be, it will have like different brackets. So they will know that this is identify control. So it will be like, this assessment now is for identify controls. And then it would then say, okay, the first question will be, or the first category will be rc.ip-1. And then it will describe what it is or what the name is. So, and then it will describe it before asking these questions. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm thinking we'll take each of the functions, and the filling will be done page. Each function will be on a separate filling. After you finish filling the function, yeah, even if you don't finish the function, you can save and continue. You can save and come back. So if you get to click save and continue, you move to the next function, record function, and so on. So
yes, I agree. We'll break it down, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the first thing it will be just to do a sample we can check, and then we can then tell her the layout and how we want to see it. But the initial thing is to understand what we can do and how we can use it.
All right.
So in terms of the outcomes, where we see a list, it would be, do you have a list of do you know the technical assets, or can you provide us a list of technical assets? You say yes. There might be an option to fill or upload. And then list of technical assets might also, so there will be like a file. And we can also stipulate the type of file, file format we accept, whether it is the text file or Excel file or PDF. So we don't have to accept anything that is executable. So that way we minimize, them sending us viruses or executable files to compromise the database.
Yes.
All right, have a read through, have a go. You have this thing, otherwise I will share it with you.
Please share it, please.
I'll share it again. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, please share it because it looks like this is an updated copy.
Yeah, this is updated because what I've done is I've used this to generate a use case called ransomware outcome. So this is specifically tailored to ransomware, where it says list of data for that. So I didn't go through listing technical and non-technical here, because this is a ransomware. It's only for the data that the ransomware could compromise and then request a ransom. So that's why I narrowed it down into databases or data stores. Again, here, list of technical or three of the stakeholders. I narrowed it down to, does your organization have IT or SOC? And again, there's a link to this particular one. I will share this with you because the gray one is, outcome that is specific to ransomware. So these are generic ones. So what we're creating now, automating now, is the generic one. But this might give you understanding into how I've tailored it in the question and how I've tailored it into the other one. But once you created and done a draft and send it for me to, I will make several comments. I think because it's code, it's better we do first time for reviews, because then it's easy for us to focus on a particular problem and you understand what I mean, rather than email or the other thing that we're using. Yeah? Cool. Is there anything else you wanted? And again, we need to brand it. Once we're doing it anyway, you put the logos and various things once we get there in terms of branding. Cool. Is there anything else, Chris, you wanted to cover? Or is this?
I think
your line is breaking up a bit. Hello? I think I've lost you. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Doctor.
All right. Is there anything you wanted us to cover now that, or it's good for at least for a start?
Yeah, it's good for a start.
Okay. I will. How shall I share this? Okay, let me share this via email and the link, or I'll put a link on our Slack. I'll put the link on Slack now for you. Yeah.
All right. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for all the good work you're doing.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Speak soon. Cheers. Bye.